SMS at any time during the show. Text Spectrum, leave a space, type in your contribution and name, then send it to 7197. Your views, our interviews on Spectrum, Radio 1 FM 90.
Hello, a very warm welcome. This is Spectrum Radio. My name is Edmond, Kizito, Spectrum is the married and divorced bill relevant, considering the resistance it has received from some politicians and religious leaders. Towards the end of last week, a sharp division over some clauses of the marriage and divorce bill forced the Speaker of the Speaker of Parliament, to send MPs on recess with a view of consulting their constituents. The MPs failed to agree on how to handle the issues of cohabitation, bride price, marital rape, and sharing of properties when a marriage is dissolved. These issues are threatening to kill all the bill, as has happened in the past, making it the only piece of legislation to have spanned several decades without being enacted. Some MPs have suggested that the country does not need such a law, and that if enacted in its present form, it will lead to more troubles in families. Some have even suggested that the title of the bill should be changed with a view to dropping the divorce aspect. Religious leaders have also insisted that recognizing cohabitation as a form of marriage after 2 years is totally unacceptable. President Museveni has also voiced his concern over the bill, saying some aspects of the family and culture must be handled carefully. He singled out the issue of bride rights as one of the critical issues in the culture of some communities. Some people perceive the bill as a feminist project, being pushed by those who have failed in marriage. Uganda currently has a marriage act, and some MPs and members of the party believe that it is adequate to handle matters like marriage, rendering the marriage and divorce bill outright irrelevant. Today, renowned women activist Hon Dr Miria Matembe voiced her concerns over the matter, which the family has handled over so many years, and insisted that even what is happening today is a design to fail it. So now we listen to her views on this bill, and what she proposes as a way forward to break the latest development. Hon Dr Miria Matembe, women activist, former Secretary of Justice. So you must welcome Hon Dr Miria.
Thank you very much. Good evening, listeners. I actually prefer to be called senior citizen because for sure I'm not just an activist. I'm a senior citizen in this country, not in terms of age though, but in terms of my contribution to this nation. And in terms also of my years in marriage now, since we are discussing this bill. Yes. And in fact I sit here to dispel one of the arguments which we put forward, that some people are saying that it is promoted by feminists who have failed marriage or who have broken marriage. I want to tell you that I'm one of those women who are very, I think, very happily married and successfully married. And one of those women who have been able to reconcile my Catholic life and my Catholic life. To the extent that although I expose the issues of gender equality, and in fact among Mr. Kabanga, the forefront of these issues, it has not broken my marriage. Because I want to prove to this world that if issues of equality and women's empowerment do not break marriage, they can only break marriage when they are misunderstood. It's just like this law is being misunderstood by very many people when in fact it's meant to protect and defend the marriage as an institution. Because I'm 37 years in marriage, I now have two daughters in love, I'm expecting the third one, I have a son in love, I have 5 grandchildren including twins. So you can see when I come here to talk and support the marriage bill, and actually support all those which the things which they call controversial, which they want to remove. I personally, Miria Matembe, support them. And I want to remind you that I'm a born-again Christian. I love the Lord. I love marriage institution. I love marriage to the extent that, when people break and they come to me that they have told it off, many times I have shed tears and cried over these broken marriages. Many times I have prayed and tried so much to reconcile people. Very many have been reconciled because I do believe have a marriage. And it is possible not to have a marriage break. It is. There are not many tough things that break marriage. If people can understand and be able to understand each other, be tolerant, be patient, be compassionate, be kind, and be loving, and play their roles. Where the man plays his role, and the woman plays his role, and they are happy, and they treat each other as equal human beings, the marriage will not break. Therefore, marriages break. I don't know why people are rushing at the divorce. Marriages break. When certain things break them, it is not the law that will break marriages, because I'm telling you even right now, they say that almost the four marriages which are ceremonized these days, that out of the 4, 3 break within 1 year. And yet the law is not yet there. Therefore the public, which is bringing some arguments which are empty against this law, should really be able to understand that this law is very important, it is necessary. Now having said that, I want to say that the law currently which governs the marriage in Uganda, I think it is the one of 1904. We have the law of 1914, 1905, those rules. And we are talking of 2013, globalized world, computer world, the .com. And we are talking in a time of Facebook. Is it Twitter? Whatever you call the new and before computer. We are talking of this .com people, .com marriages. We are talking of members of parliament, women. We are talking of ministers who are women. We are talking of engineers. That is the law which was made before even a single woman in Uganda, I think, studied any medicine or any law. You can imagine. So you can see the changes that have taken place to make sure that the law which governs the institution must be modified to take into account the prevailing circumstances. And when it is not, then that's when problems happen. Somebody cannot tell me, a member of parliament representing the people of Uganda, at this particular time, after 50 years of independence of Uganda, after the year of Jubilee, that is saying the law of 1908 is relevant. Sure, is not fit to be in the parliament of this country. And I want to say that marriage as an institution, every other institution must have a law that governs, it guides the operations of that institution. I'm sure this radio one must be having its own constitution. How can every aspect of life have a law governing it, and we say that the marriage as the best unit of society, the most important unit of society defined by our constitution as the best unit of society, which should be entitled to state protection. That is the provision in the constitution, that marriage is the best unit of society which must be protected by the state. Now, how does the state protect the institution without putting in place an appropriate law to guide it and govern it?
So you agree we need a law?
Certainly, anybody who says we don't need a law must be crazy. They don't understand things.
So from your description, we probably need 2 laws. One for the educated, civilized women, and one for the women who still are uneducated, the 1904. So we still have some of them.
That is your own words. Don't
You told us it's an old law because women have gone to school and needed
what I was talking about was that Uganda has moved. People are no longer
are no longer what they were. I'm not going to categorize the women of Uganda. In fact, I want to tell you that if it is anybody who needs this law more, it is the rural women you are talking about. Because, for instance, me now with Matembe, if we parted company, probably I even have some property of my own, and he has his, that we may not even have to quarrel over property. But when you look at the rural women, the women of Mbarara, I used to represent, the women whom I used to fight for, by the way, they have also moved. Don't joke with them. They have moved from being just mere housewives whom they think they just sit in the house and do nothing, whereas they were doing a lot, of course, but it was not being seen. But these days they have their own businesses. Small, at least the women in Barara used to represent, they sell their matoke, they have some goats, because I taught them when I was there, I taught them to stop doing things which are perishable. I taught them that you should also involve in businesses which make things which are durable.
Let's talk about some of the things in this. Let's talk about, give us your views on cohabitation. How long should a man and woman stay together?
You know, you are taking me on that, but I'm coming to that. But if you could allow me to give a background, a context.
Give us some context.
You know, I am very disappointed about our leaders, both political and the religious, because they've been out there. For instance, President Museveni is there ridiculing us. Women, stop running around, stop running around. You don't need to be in a hurry. And certainly he knows that we have not been in a hurry. I want the public of Uganda not to believe President Museveni, who is saying that we are in a hurry, that we are running around without being prepared. I want to tell the public listening to me that after independence in 1962, immediately after independence, because of the need for the law to govern the family, the then President Obote instituted a commission known as the Karema Commission. The husband of Honorable Rhoda Karema chaired that commission, and it traversed the country and gathered people's views, and it made a report, which report has never seen the light of day. So I want to tell President Museveni that even the government of Obote himself, 50 years ago, saw it very important to bring a law on the family. As if that was not enough, when President Museveni took over power and appointed the Law Reform Commission, chaired by Mr. Kakoza, he used to be a director of Law Development Center, the first law they handled was the law of the family. They traversed the whole country, the commission, and interviewed people and did all this research and came out with information and with a report on the basis of which a bill was drafted. When they said that the law of marriage, the law of family is divided in many, many smaller pieces, and it is more convenient to bring it into one law. And they brought what they called the law of domestic relations. When we brought
domestic relations bill,
domestic relations bill, when we brought it in Parliament, I think it was the 6th Parliament, and we started arguing for, they said no, this one we don't want. I think we never got it through. Then we continued to do research more. 7th Parliament, we brought it. All these religious leaders, I'm telling you, they were surveyed. They attended the hearing in Parliament. We called seminars and workshops in FIDA, in Akford, in Uonet, now we all educated all these people, and the religious leaders were there. And that's when they say, let's separate the two laws, remove the Muslim, because the Muslims are governed by Quran. We said, if the Muslims are going to disturb us, let us handle one issue at a go.
The Muslims are going to?
Let's tackle this one. So we accepted tackle that, the one which is before Parliament now, and they said, change the title. Because why do you call it a domestic relations bill? You call it the law of marriage and divorce. So we changed the title, brought it in Parliament. I remember at the 3rd reading in the 7th Parliament, when we were going to read it at the 3rd reading, when Honorable Hope Mwesije, by then Minister for Parliamentary Affairs, stood up and said, we have other urgent business, the law of marriage, get off the agenda. We lost it that way. In the 8th Parliament, they brought it again. I tell you, I was even in Parliament sitting with the religious leaders, although I was not a Parliament member. I was in the legal committee with, I think, Honorable Nwagaba, is it Honorable Nwagaba, whoever was chairing that bill, and we were there, and the religious leaders came, and we explained to them, and they were condemning cohabit, and they were talking all those things, and prayed for us that we are even sinners. I also prayed for them and reminded them of Jesus and his compassionate love, how he didn't throw stones on the woman who had committed adultery. But at the end, Honorable Sekande said, this time it will go through. the next day I was in the gallery, the law never found its way on the agenda. Now this law is coming again. So you cannot say that we are in a hurry. This law, absence of this law is causing a lot immense suffering of the women in this country and the children. You know, women are usually the vulnerable people because they have no power, they have no property, they are considered as property themselves. And therefore, when it comes to these issues of marriage, they are the most people who suffer together with their children. As a woman leader, where I support this law, I have suffered trying to solve the problems of the women and their children in this country. The cruelty, you can't believe the cruelty of some men. The woman is married for the last 30, 40 years, and he just gets up and says, get out of here, and chases away even grown-up children. You can bring many, many grown-up children whose mothers were chased away, and they are even living with their sons, and their property is just being enjoyed by maybe the second woman or even other people. Cruelty happening to women and children. This law would be able to give guidance. This law would say, determine who is married, determine the responsibilities and duties in the marriage, determine the rights of the people, determine the position of children, determine when in the event of an unfortunate occurrence where people part, how do they live and share what they have made for those many years. This is what the law is trying to say. It would protect women and children. I want to tell religious leaders, before I go into this cohabit thing, I want to tell religious leaders to be honest, to accept that we have been consulting them. And I want to tell them that they have a role to play in helping the government in promotion of good marriage institution. And this role is not to stop government from making laws for the protection and guidance of its people, because it is a responsibility of government to make laws for the protection of its people. Now, the religious role should be to mobilize the people who are living in cohabitation. Go out there, mobilize them, and bring them to church and lead them. Secondly, they should look at why is it that cohabit is going on. What has happened with the morals and ethical values of Ugandans? So they should go and preach the message, Jesus' message. Preach it to those people who have not cohabited yet, so that they don't go into cohabit. And those who are now cohabiting, let them go and mobilize them so that they get wedded. While they are still working on that, they should let the government legislate for the protection of those women. Me, I want to tell you, when we are fighting AIDS, when AIDS had hit Uganda, we went out there to promote condom use. The religious leaders rose up in arms that we are promoting immorality. I told them very, very clearly, look here, you religious leaders, you are supposed to preach people so that they are not immoral. Where were you when they became immoral and they caught AIDS? I said, so since they failed you were not able to prevent them from going immoral. For us, let us administer our earthly medicine while you are preaching to them, so that by the end they don't die. We are saving them while you preach to them. And now I want to tell that same message to the religious leaders. I want to remind them of Jesus. Jesus had compassion on sinners. When they brought the woman who had committed adultery, Jesus did not say stone the woman. He said, okay, who has never done it, stone the woman.
Yes.
And while they went away,
and
the woman
the old men who left first.
The woman and the religious leaders, by the way, did not stay. So the poor woman was protected. Jesus protected the woman, but told her, don't sin again.
Yes.
So I want the religious leaders to be kind to the people who are in in cohabit relationship. Protect them, mobilize them, preach to them, while for us in government, we provide law to protect them. Then in the meantime, they can even come back and get wedded, and then together we play a role, rather than saying they are immoral, you are promoting immorality. Right now as we talk, the people who cohabit, I understand, are 60% of those people who are in a marriage relationship. Yes. 60% I understand are cohabiting.
Only 40 went to church.
Only 40 went to church. Now I want you to tell me, what are the religious doing now? Instead of condemning those people, to condemn them to suffering, to be chased out of homes, and the children chased on the street, let them have the love of Jesus.
Mass weddings.
Yeah, we did. We did with
Pastor Michael Chaze.
Pastor Chaze. That was the first wedding we did. I was the minister for ethics. I went there, I preached, and we wedded 50 people. And these days they have taken up their wedding, those people. But those who have not wedded yet, why should they suffer and be thrown out by the relatives and even the man who has cohabited with them? So please, religious leaders, don't behave like the Pharisees.
They're behaving like Pharisees.
Yes.
Well, this is Spectrum on Radio 1. We're going for a break. We'll be back. Do stay tuned. Tonight on Spectrum, is the marriage and divorce bill relevant, considering the resistance it has received from some politicians and religious leaders? Our guest tonight, Hon Dr Miria Matembe, former ethics and integrity minister, senior citizen. She was around when you and I probably were not here. She was here at Independence. We'll be back.
Excuse me, what is this 300 shillings on my bill for?
That is for the tinted candles, madam.
And this 100 shillings?
That is for the air conditioning.
And this 200 shillings?
For the blue walls, ma'am.
I can't believe this!
Why pray for what you don't use or ask for? That's why we at Standard Chartered are introducing the Easy Go account, the first current account of its kind that gives you complete control of your banking charges. For more details, visit a Standard Chartered branch or call 0414-340077.
Would you like to leave me a tip, please?
Uganda Communications Commission is currently conducting nationwide mandatory SIM card registration. Register your SIM card in a few easy steps. Visit your telecom operator's customer care center or any other designated registration center and provide your phone number, a copy of a valid ID or any other valid ID with accompanying photographs such as a passport, driver's permit, voter's card, or a letter from your LC. Information on your physical address or residence will also be required. SIM card registration protects mobile phone users from incidences of fraud, incitement, terrorism, and hate messages, among others. Please note that SIM card registration is mandatory, and those who fail to register risk having their SIM cards deactivated. All information shall remain confidential. Let's make communication safe. Register your SIM card today.
So I'm chilling at home with my crew. The boys are waiting to watch the game on the telly, but the chicks want to go to the beach. So how do we play it? I glance across the room. Eye contact is made. A plan is hatched. Pete will get some sand. Lots of it. Jeff will take care of the deco, Tim the entertainment, and I the clubs. And so we bring the beach to the apartment. If we can't go to the beach, we bring the beach to us. It's just how we do.
It's not about where you're at. It's the difference you bring. Get a fresh take on things. Club is brewed longer for easier drinking. Brewed slower for great taste. Club, tastefully different. Not for sale to persons under the age of 18.
Spectrum on Radio 1 FM 90.
Welcome back on Spectrum tonight. Is the marriage and divorce bill relevant, considering the resistance it has received from some politicians and religious leaders? Our guest tonight, Hon Dr Miria Matembe, senior citizen, also former ethics and integrity minister and renowned women activist, founder of some of the forefront women activist movements. You will be able to call in and contribute to this discussion. Honorable Matembe, talk to us about cohabitation. You told us a short while ago that 60% of the people in marriage or in relationships are cohabiting. What should we do about cohabitation? What should we call it?
Let me tell you, as a person, as I, Miria Matembe, I hate cohabit. I don't like my girls to go and cohabit. And And all my life of activism, I have preached against cohabiting. Even when they call me to weddings and so on, I tell girls not to cohabit. So I don't want anybody to think that I love cohabiting. I don't like it. But despite my preaching,
In case it happens.
and going against it, it has been happening and it continues to happen. I don't know why it does happen, but I think one of the reasons why cohabiting is taking place is because, and why it is increasing, is because of commercialization of bride price.
Yes.
You will agree with me that now most young people are not employed. Many of them are not employed. And yet, because of greed and materialism, bride price has been commercialized. I think you've been seeing all these things,
Sofa sets,
you see
refrigerators.
what, all these things that goes on. Now, poor boys, they don't have whereas to pay for bride
Bags of sugar.
and yet we have continued to tell them, don't be promiscuous, you'll get AIDS. You must marry. So we are telling them, marry, not to get AIDS. Then when they go to marry, they want bride price. And they cannot afford bride price. So to avoid bride price, they go and cohabit. And then you tell them, no, we don't want you to cohabit. I mean, I want to ask these good Ugandans, the religious Ugandans who want to live holy, what solution are they giving to these people who are in a cohabit relationship? For us, we are saying the cohabit relationship is taking place. It may be indiscipline, it may be because of bride price,
Yes.
but it is there and it is increasing. And we are saying that this relationship, for instance, when the man dies, the wife and the children suffer a lot because the relatives chase them out because they have no recourse to any law. Nobody can help them because they are not regarded as they were married. So they suffer. That is one way through which they suffer. The second way is when they have cohabited for about, 10, 8, 5, 3 years. And when they are cohabiting, poor them, they think that they are married. But what do they do that?
So what should we do about
By
cohabiting?
the way, what do they do that doesn't show that they are married? They sleep in the bed, they are having sex with each other, they are producing families, they are looking after their families. So for practical purposes, they are what? They are married.
But they don't have the stamp.
But they don't have a legal recognition that they are married, which we are looking for. We are looking for recognition of this relationship.
Talk to us about bride price. What should we do about bride price,
Legalize.
madam?
I want this relationship to be legalized so that now the man doesn't wake up and say, get out of here. We've been working together. We have earned our money together. We have built vehicle. Let me tell you, women come to me and say, we built the house together. We bought the car. Now you have thrown me out. And there are so many. And they have no recourse to law because the law says, well, you are not known in law. You are not married. And therefore go and hang on that.
So what should we say about cohabitation? If you stay together
What
for
we are
6
saying
months,
in this law,
Yes.
and by the way, people are not educating people properly. I mean, the press is misleading the public also because they don't write the very details. I am sure in this law there are certain years of cohabitation. 2 years. When you've been cohabiting for at least a
2
minimum
years.
of 2 years.
you're considered married.
If you, for the purposes, by the way,
Of resolution.
of
managing the marriage.
in case the man has died, or in case you have.
All right.
But do you know what these religious leaders, if they were clever, they should in fact allow cohabit to be deemed marriage, for instance, for the minimum of 3 years. It will prevent people from cohabiting because they will know that the moment I go and cohabit, if I don't want to marry this girl, the moment I cohabit for a certain number of years,
She owns
I'm
that
going to
property.
be deemed married.
All right.
And therefore it would, in fact, it would prevent cohabit. But now that they are free at leisure to cohabit and throw out a woman. And what hurts me with the religious leaders, let me tell you, they should listen to me. I don't know whether they would quarrel with me, but I'm part of them. I'm a born again Christian. I love the Lord. What they do, what made me mad, and I went and approached the bishops, was you can cohabit with a man for 5-10 years, and the man wakes up in the morning and gets a new girl and chases away this woman of 10-8 years and goes to church with a new girl,
and they stamp on that,
and they wed very happily. And in some cases, one time a reverend was the best man of such a man, and I went to the bishop in Namirembe long ago. I said, how can this happen? He said, you see, this man has been living in sin. Now that he has left sin, we are wedding him. I talked about the woman whom he led into sin, and now he has thrown her out with her children.
What did the bishop say?
He said, well, that is the law for us. When you come us to wed you, we wed you.
And they went ahead and ate the cake.
They went ahead, and the reverend was the best man.
Let's talk about that's bizarre. That really would be
disastrous.
So let's talk about bride price, Honorable Matembe. What's your view on bride price? What should we?
For me, this bride price, in fact, by the time I left Parliament, we had even given up on pursuit of opposing bride price.
You are opposed to it?
Of course I oppose it. Of course I oppose it. Because bride price reduces me to chattel. I saw President Museveni was saying that you don't call it bride price, call it something else.
Dowry.
But I want to ask, whether you call it dowry, whether you call it gift, well, if it is a mandatory exchange, if it is a mandatory exchange for a wife, it is a purchase. Unless it is really voluntary. But if you say, unless you give me this, I am not giving you your wife, my
You're
daughter.
selling her.
Whether you call it bride price or anything, to me, she is bought. And let me tell you, this bride price you see reduces women into chattels. And I don't know whether you have seen a film by Mifumi. Mifumi is this women organization which has been fighting bride price. It is based in the East. Recently, I saw Honorable Christine Apo saying, she's a minister in this country, saying that for me, in peso, we can't do away without bride. We can't do away with bride price. I wonder whether she has really seen how the women in the East have suffered when she watches that film. Because the man will tell you,
I bought you, I paid you.
You are part. Do you know why they have raised up in arms opposing this law?
Bought you at a price.
Because this law tends to free women from being their property.
Right.
And they enjoy women being their property. In fact, they buy you, and therefore they look at you as part of the property. How can property share property? Don't you see why they don't want people to share it?
Let's talk about wealth sharing. So you're talking about sharing. How, if people decide to part, how should they share the wealth?
First of all, I want to clear the air. What the law is saying, talking about sharing of matrimonial property.
Yes.
This means that the provisions are even there. When you, a man, comes to marry me and you have your property which you own, if you want to keep that property as your property as an individual, you keep it as individual and you own it. If I, Miria, who is coming into marriage, I already have some property which I don't want to make part of the matrimonial property, I'm entitled to enjoy that property on my own. But now when we come together, the property which we are earning together, and any other property either belonging to the man or the woman which she chooses to make part of the matrimonial home, then the law is saying that that is the property which they will share. And let me tell you, it doesn't say that you marry today, you wake up in the morning, you divorce and share property. In any case, if you have not lived together for a number of years, you will not have earned anything together. And the law says what you have earned together is what you are going to share.
Matrimonial property.
And it says for at least 2 years, you must have been married for at least 2 years. And you don't just walk out of the marriage. It says before you divorce, you exhaust any any other avenue,
Yes.
go to the local, to the elders, the mothers-in-law, the whatever. You go to the local councils. You go to the elders like we have already done. Let me tell you, I've been married for the last 37 years.
Yes.
But I will not deceive you that at the beginning, there, you know, at early stages there,
not easy.
it is not easy. I will not deny.
pinch your
I will
ear.
not deny that once in a while I wouldn't park and you go to the best man, and then the best man comes in and brings me back and
Because
says
they
what
pinched
is
your nose.
happening. Yes, and then the other day maybe what, then I run to my metron or something, and they say, they call him and say, what is the problem? And then you go in there. I had never gone to my parents because I told my husband that if you ever see me go to my parents,
No coming back.
I will have gone forever. I remember at one time I went to my brother for some good months.
What had you done
I
that
don't
time?
want people to think that we have
What
survived
had
in
what
this
had Nehemiah
country
done that time?
with the smooth. Those are our things. It is my matron and best man who
You
knows
can tell
those
me
things.
here, just me
No,
alone.
it is
Yeah,
not for
just-
public consumption, but what I'm giving the public consumption is to tell them that marriage can be made by people who are committed to it.
Right.
And it is not easy, it is not smooth. All smooth roads cause accidents, and therefore there is you break.
Smooth roads cause
Let me
accidents.
tell you, marriage is like a garden of roses. In the roses,
There are
there are
thorns.
thorns. So you need to learn how to dig and nurture the garden
All right.
so that it doesn't grow wide for thorns to prick
You
you.
need to prune
And
it.
even those small thorns which may prick you as you pick the roses, you need to learn the strategies and tactics of picking the roses and enjoying them. So we need to counsel people, and we are saying, let's do this until it is extremely irretrievably broken down. Then when it does, please don't let any spouse,
Share the sofa
don't
and
let
plots.
any spouse walk out as a
Empty-handed.
pauper. Don't let any spouse walk out in a non-dignified manner. Please, after all, he may be a mother of your children, he may be a father of your children.
Even without children,
we are
they
saying,
would have been your partner.
why shouldn't they share what they have worked for? What is the problem with that?
All right, I mean, you've taught us something new here. Smooth roads cause accidents. Maybe
do.
we need some potholes sometimes to slow us down.
Yeah.
Talk to us about marital rape. Is that a concept that is worth talking about? Does it exist, marital rape?
In fact, I'm the first person who, during NRC, proposed that marital rape should be made a crime.
Oh, what is
In
marital
NRC, I proposed it, and I remember Honorable Tajera saying I should be taken to Butabika. I've gone too far.
Yes.
And in fact, after I had proposed it, I think it was like 3 months down the road, it was made into law in England. You see me, I think I'm an exporter of ideas. Even when I talked of castration,
Yes.
about how many months later in Germany they introduced chemical castration. So me, I'm an exporter of ideas, don't joke with me.
You spoke about castration, it made you famous those
I
days.
proposed that marital rape should be made into a crime. Why? Because I had been receiving women who had been suffering because of marital rape. Let me tell you, rape means having sex with somebody without her or his consent, for
yes.
that matter.
Yes.
So, the men in this country, because they take women as chattels, because they imagine that for women, for them, they don't erect. They think because they're just open there, they think any time they come in, whether they are coming from a mistress, whether they are coming from a concubine, whether they are so drunk and even incapable of doing any good job, having enticed you, they don't do any good job. Where they are anything, they think they are entitled to you without anything.
Well, they don't do a good job.
Now, these people, you find that somebody has been having her period, it is not even complete. This drunko comes and wants to dive, they rape. Then you see somebody who has just delivered for a week or so. You know, when it comes sex, I think some men perhaps become like brutal animals. They are uncontrollable. They can't reason. They just come and dive this woman. The uterus is come out. out, they tell us, women have suffered. Women have suffered, and with AIDS, because somebody is moving with a woman whom you know is HIV positive, and he comes and wants to have sex with you, and you refuse, and they rape you.
Right.
And therefore, there is marital rape. There is rape which happens in marriages. And in fact, for me, I think almost every married woman has been at one time or another raped.
Not the other way around.
Almost every can we rape you, because for you men, you are the most insecure people. Even when a woman says, hey, excuse me, may I now have you as my friend, you can chimbia. You can easily run away because you think you are the people who must make you advance.
Well, the Bible.
So when a man comes, men want to be handled so delicately. Right. So how can a woman rape a man unless the young people, the young boys, the sugar mummies entice young boys and fire them. But a mature man like you, I come and by force, I say I want sexy, my dear husband, now by force give, you just collapse.
We have to go to hear from the listeners. Spectrum unusual one tonight with an outstanding guest. Our numbers tonight 041-4348-111, 031-226-0390, 031-226-1390. When you call in, please tell us your name and where you are calling from. Spectrum, hello. Yes, sir, your name? Yes, Isaac. Yes, your name? Yes, Mr. Aware.
Good evening to you. Thank you.
Yes, your name? Yes, Morrison.
Yes, how are you, my dear?
Good evening, your name? Yes, Jones.
Good. much, Charles. That's great.
Yes, all right. Spectrum, hello. Good evening, your name? Yes. Spectrum, hello.
Good.
Okay, let's get straight back to the studio. There's another. Okay, one final caller. Spectrum, hello. Yes, sir, your name? Good evening, your name? Hello. Okay, let's get back to this. One final caller. Yes, your name? Yes? Good evening, your name? Yes, Claudia. One other next question that came in. Someone said, what is your take on Otuke woman MP Annette Nyakesho Okwenye from the NRM statement that marital rape is a foreign concept imported from the West, and for them African women, including her Honorable Okwenye, it is part of the fun?
Of course, I start with that. Of course, it's extremely unfortunate to have such a woman in Parliament. It's extremely sad. It's sad. It's really sad. I don't think she knows why she's in that Parliament, and I don't think she knows the problems of the women she's meant to be representing. She doesn't know. She's simply there to get her allowance, and she's just there. I don't know what you call foreign when a woman is being raped
in a menstrual period.
Being raped by a Muzungu. Has an Englishman come? A woman, let me tell you, I want to tell this woman over 2K that it is extremely sad that she's in Parliament. When I was a minister, there are many cases which I've been dealing with of men who rape their wives. But one particular one, the woman died. She was in Paris? She had, I think, delivered 1 week or so. The man came and raped her, and she died. They arrested the man and took him to police. And the CID released this man and said the man was enjoying his conjugal rights. I drove my vehicle to Paris
as a minister,
and I made sure that man was arrested and put in prison. But of course, by the time, I don't know, I left the ministry, I don't know whether he was ever charged, ever convicted at one time.
Okay.
There are other incidences of such nature. I'm giving them. Recently, they gave off this woman's story whose husband raped many times.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go to other
cases.
She should get out of Parliament. She's a disaster. Now, there is this person who says about what does
the Bible say
about divorce.
Marriage and divorce.
Thank you very much. I have the Bible right now. I want first to refer him to Malachi. Malachi, I think, is it chapter
1. He said that I hate divorce.
God hates divorce. That was God talking. Malachi in the Old Testament,
yes,
he said, I hate divorce. But in the New Testament, Jesus himself was asked about divorce. And this is Matthew chapter 5. I think this is verse 31. And this is what he said. It has been said, anyone who divorces his wife must give her a certificate of divorce. That is the old Moses' law.
Yes.
But I tell you that anyone who divorces his wife, except for marital unfaithfulness causes her to become an adulteress, and anyone who marries the divorced woman commits adultery. What this means is that you can divorce. Jesus allowed people to divorce for marital unfaithfulness. In other words, for adultery, Jesus allowed them to divorce.
Some religious leaders have been attacking one of their members.
I don't know how they read their Bible.
Who divorced an adulterous woman, and they said they did wrong.
But what did Jesus do? Jesus himself, when the woman was caught in adultery, they said, should we stone? He said, please, hold on. Who has never done it? And then in the end he said, woman, this was a sin, don't do it again. That's how we are supposed to treat them. But otherwise, that's what the law is saying. The law which they are bringing forward is saying that except for irretrievable breakdown. I want to ask Ugandans listening to me who oppose divorce, have they had, how many killings have taken place? Because people don't want to divorce, so they kill their husbands because she wants to go home, but she cannot pay bride price back. Either she kills the husband or the woman kills herself.
Right.
For me, I lost a sister-in-law. I lost a sister-in-law who was being mistreated, and whenever she went home, the parents said go back, and she went and killed herself and left her 2 children. So me, I know these things. I talk from an informed point of view. I don't talk like this nonsense of a woman who sees women suffering and says they are enjoying fun. She's very hopeless. Okay, sorry for that language. Charles
Jesus called the man for. He called Herod a fool, so don't apologize too much.
Charles Nansana, thank you very much. I thank him very much.
All right.
He's certainly a real man.
Married 23 years.
Yeah, he's a real man who knows what he's talking about.
All right.
And now there is this Morrison, my friend.
He says there's no record of cohabitation. What should we do?
No, you know what? When the law is talking, that when they have lived together for 2 years,
there might be no record when they live together.
They will know. They will give evidence. People will know.
All right. Neighbors.
There will be evidence.
Or the landlord.
And for instance, maybe now that the women know, they may say that now that we have started living together, let us see whatever right that we have lived together. You never know.
An exercise.
And then he says there should be harmonization. I agree with him. These people should get together, should put reason in their head, should know that this law is necessary for the good running of the families in Uganda. Then President wanting order, he's not being honest, because he says that we are in a hurry when in fact the law has been there
for decades.
Half a century.
We have to go, Honorable Matembe.
And then Isaac, thank you very much. He's saying, where does he get information? I don't know. Even tonight I'm going to WBS on what? On
another program.
On another program.
We have to go.
I don't know where we shall find the
actually, I said earlier Malachi chapter 1. It's actually Malachi chapter 2 where God said, I heard him. So we have to go. Thank you very much, dear guest, Honorable Dr. Miria Matembe, senior citizen, women activist, former ethics and integrity minister. She was a full minister, not a minister of state. Thank you for tuning in. I've been your host, Edmond Kizito Spectrum. We'll be back tomorrow. Right now, you can hear the news in the English language.
Aro, Antipisia, my way. Actually, I'm at the beach having fun. You know, I have recourse.